So now I'm going to open the app, Trep Edit. I'll click on this button. This is the button you click on, the menu button. So once you click on this menu button, you will now see about 4 tabs: Learn to Code, Get Source Code, Workspace, Text Editor. So if you click on Learn to Code, that means you are trying to learn or practice more about how to code. So it has HTML tab, it has CSS. If you click on it, it will switch to CSS tutorial. You click on the JavaScript tab, it will shift to JavaScript tutorial. So you can practice on how to use this. But as a beginner, the first thing you have to learn is HTML. So if you click on this thing that looks like an option menu, 1, 2, 3, you click here, it will show you all the courses or all the topics that you have to practice for you to call yourself a certified HTML writer. So, but that is not what we are talking about. So I'm going to go back to the environment, which is this. So now, if you want to start coding with your smartphone using Trep Edit, after you have gotten to this environment, what you will now do is to click on the workspace. So once you click on workspace, you will see a plus button down. This thing that looks like a circle with a plus, that is where you have to click on. So I will click on it, and then I can see a menu like this. So we have new project, new file, import folder, import file. So if you want to create a new project, you click on new project, and that new project means folder in web development. So as you are clicking on new project, you are creating a folder automatically. So now the folder, you need to assign a name. So the name we are assigning to this folder, which is the project, is portfolio. So you can see what I'm doing. I am typing portfolio on the project name. Then the last thing you now do is to click on the save button below. So I do that, and now you can see that I have 2 folders here: HTML practice and portfolio. So this is the one we did yesterday, and this is the one we are doing today. So I'm going to open the folder by clicking on it. Then I'll see a new plus button. Go to the plus button and click. Now this time around, you are going to create what? A file. So the first file you are creating is what? Index.html. So I'm going to create my first file, index.html. No spacing, index.html. So HTML is the language. So the index there is the file name. Now, if you put this extension name.html, it's going to tell the workspace that anything you are writing should be interpreted in HTML form. Anything that is not HTML is going to discard it. So I'm going to click on save. I've created my first file. I come back again, click on new file to create the next file, style.css, which I told you that is what beautifies the HTML. It's like adding a flesh to a skeleton. So this is what makes a website more beautiful and attractive. Your CSS, cascade styling sheet, that is the full meaning. So this is the file, style.css. I click on save. The next thing I'm going to do, remember we are learning how to work with just HTML and CSS. So the HTML has a file name called index, and the CSS has a file name called style. So I'll click on the plus button again, and this time around I'm going to create a folder. So I'm going to create a folder. So I'll select new folder. So inside that folder, I'm going to give it a name, images, where I'm going to put my pictures. So I've saved it as what? Images. Now, if I open the folder images, I can't find what? Any file inside. So let's try to add a file on that folder, images. So I'll click on it. So what you are going to add here is your picture. Remember, we are dealing on how to create a portfolio. So I'll click on the plus button. And this time around, you are not creating a file, but you are importing. Import means bring in. So you want to bring in something to the project. So I want to bring a picture. So a picture is a file and not a folder. So I'm going to select import file by clicking on that icon. Then I select allow a picture of mine where I stored it. So let me go to my storage gallery. So you know where you save your picture. So most times when you snap a picture, it goes to your DCIM and stay, except you move it to another place. I've seen my picture. So I'm selecting this picture now. So this is the picture now, Jerry Peace latest. So this is a picture of mine. So I've added it. So this is how you add pictures into the created folder. Through creating our folder, our files, and we have something inside our folder images. So the next thing you now do is to go back and click on where you are seeing portfolio and this. You are going to click on portfolio to enter. Then you now click on these three dots here. That option menu. That's the option menu at the top here. I can see file manager. I can see workspace location. I can see open in editor. Select open in editor. So I'll click on it. So that will open the project in our editor environment where we can now create. So if you have other files that is open, you can close them by clicking on the X on the file at the top there. So I'll say don't save. So I'm closing what I opened. So now the first thing you have to open is the index.html. If you can't see this, click on the folder at the left hand side, at the top left hand side, that thing that looks like a folder icon. Click on it, it will switch this, that is open it, so that I can see this. Then you now select the first file here, index.html. So this is where you start writing. So the first thing we are writing is our Eminet. You want to set up the structure of HTML. So to set it up, you need to use HTML snippet. So if you are scrolling down here, as I'm scrolling, this thing that is moving down, you see HTML snippet. Click on it, and that will set up the structure of an HTML. So in this HTML, we have doc type, we have the HTML opening tag, and at the bottom here is called the HTML close tag. What differentiates the opening tag here is this slash you are seeing inside this slash. If I remove it, it looks like an opening tag. So all I need to do is to add this back. So I have something like this. So after the HTML tag, we have the head tag. So for headings, from here to here, as I'm selecting it, that is the head tag. This is the opening and this is the close. That is where it ended. Now the body tag, this is where it starts and this is where it closes. So the head tag mostly is used for linking our created external file like CSS and JavaScript. So now in this head tag, I'm going to link my style.css created. So how do I link it? I'll just press the enter key after the title tag to come down. Then I'll look around here to see the link button. So I can see the link button. So I click on the link button. That will generate the code. So inside this href, that is where you are going to put the name of the file created. So the name of my CSS is style.css. So I'll put it inside here. Exactly how it was created. If the S is in capital letter, you need to type capital letter S. So I'm going to type style.css. So I've linked my CSS. So now I can then change the title, cut page title at default to what? Portfolio. So that the title of the website will be a what? Portfolio. Then the next thing you do is to go down to the body by clicking on it. Then it starts blinking. So the first thing we are going to create is the navbar. And as a web developer, when you are creating your code, you need to be commenting them. That is, you give a comment before you start coding. So this is where you get the comment section on the second item. So you can see what I'm scrolling right now. So this thing that looks like greater than an exclamation mark with a dash dash, then a dash dash, and greater than, that is a comment. So I'll click on it, and this will generate a comment. So a comment in web development gives a description of the code, but does not appear on what? The web browser. That is, when you are running, it will not appear. What you type inside the comments will not appear. So what we want to create first in our HTML is the navbar. So I'll type navbar. So in our navbar now, we have the header. So I'm going to create the header tag. So if I can't find the header tag here, let me check first. I can't find it. So all I need to do is to manually type it by using this. So I type header and then close it. Then it automatically creates the closing tag for the header. Then I break it by pressing the enter key on my keyboard. I believe you know where the enter key is. And then I will now what? Put my first heading, H1. So this is my first heading. I'll use this below, H1, which we learned yesterday. So I close it. So my head one is going to be a what? My portfolio. That is the heading. Just like when you are typing in MS Word, you give a caption. So in web development, if you want to give a caption, you use a head tag like H1 to give a heading. Or even when you are writing a letter, the heading always is thick and bold. So in web development, if you want to do such, you have to use a head tag like H1 or H2 or H3. So the higher the number, the lesser the font size of the caption. So this is my H1 now. Let's see how it looks like on a web browser. So all I need to do is to come to that thing that looks like a play button above, this play button here. Click on it. So once you click on it, it will run the what? The website. And then you can see my portfolio, which I typed. So if I go back and change portfolio, maybe remove something like port, write something like port and run it again, you discover that it has changed to my port. So we are actually starting. So I'm showing how this works. So after that now is to create the nav bar. So use a nav tag and break it down. So inside this nav bar is going to have our unordered list, which we created yesterday. So I'm going to put my UL. So anytime you want to list something in web development, especially when we are doing with navigation, use this nav tag and then a UL tag. So on ordered lists, you break it, then you put your LI, which means list. So this is my first list. My first list is going to have an A tag inside. So I'm typing the A tag inside the list tag. So this is the opening tag of the A tag and closing tag. So we call this anchor. So now let me just shift it by going back. Now this is this particular tag now is what we use to create a link in web development. You want to redirect someone to another web page, use the A tag to do so. So inside this A tag now, on the opening tag of the A tag, just go inside the letter A and space, then you type this, the href, then use this equals to add the value inside. So we are going to give this particular tag about. So I'm going to give it hashtag about. Then inside the A tag, in between the opening tag of the A and the closing tag, this is where I'll put my word content. So what do I want to type here? I want to type what? About. So now for me to fasten the process, I'm going to copy the list tag opening with what I typed. I copy it and then paste. So let me correct this. This is about. And the next one is going to be what? Project. So these are the menus. The menus. So these are the menus on our nav. So these are projects. And under the year, we are going to type what? Project. Then I take my insertion pointer outside the closing tag of the second list and then paste again. I paste again because I still want to add another word, list item. So I edit it and remove it and then add contact. So this particular list represents contact. Then I edit here and change it to what? Contact. So having done this, I run it again to see the result. So watch. So if you look at my portfolio, you can see that thing we created yesterday. But this time around, you discover that this one has a blue highlighted line. That is a link. And it's because we are using an A tag, which is our anchor tag for redirect. So if actually there's something linked to it, if you click on it, the page will take you to the about page. And if you click on project, it will take you to the project page. So this is how website is being built. This is how website is being built. It's very, very interesting. Now we are through with creating the nav bar. The next thing we want to create is the hero section. We want to create the hero section. So you can click on the arrow facing here, or you click on the back button on your smartphone. So now the hero section. So now we are through with the nav bar. We want to create the hero section. And the nav bar ended on the header tag, which is the closing tag. So you just press the enter key to give a space, and then you give a comment just to separate your code and make it easier to locate. So this is the hero section. The hero section. Now we want to write our code, our hero section. So our hero section is going to talk about the person. So I'm going to use a tag called section. So we have it here. So I click on the button section. I generate the opening tag and the close tag. Then I press enter to come down. Then inside here, I'm going to give it an ID. So this ID is mostly used if you are writing JavaScript. So we use the ID. CSS uses class. But that doesn't mean you cannot use the ID to work on CSS. You will get to know about that. So for now, just give it an ID name with a value, hero. Then you come down and write the content. So we are going to use h2 tag here. So I'm going to just put this h2, then I close it. it will now generate this. So in between the opening tag and the close tag, this is where I will now write. So I'm going to write hello, I am like this. Then use the span tag. Let me see if there's a span tag here, a span button. Good, there's a span tag. So that fastens the process. So now I'll put your name. So you put your name here. Hello, I am your name. So I'm going to use Comrade Jeremiah as my name on the span tag. So Comrade Jeremiah is inside the span tag. Hello, I am is inside the H2 tag. So I'll now put a paragraph. I'll create a paragraph tag outside the H2. So if you want to give a paragraph in web development or in HTML, use the P tag. So P tag stands for paragraph. Just like when you are typing in Microsoft Word and you want to give a paragraph, you press the enter key. So if you want to come down on a website, you have to use the P tag to come down. So inside this P tag is where you can now write a message about who you are. So I'll say I'm a passionate web developer, and use this and designer. So having done that, you now come down. That is, you take your mouse outside the closing tag of the P and come down and use a link tag, which is the A tag. You can see if you click on the button, it set it up for you. You don't need to type it manually. So we are going to link this to our project menu. So you are going to put # projects. Now this particular project, if someone click on this link, is going to take the user to this. Or if someone click on this, it's going to take it based on the A tag. It's similar to this, based on the ID. So it's going to take this to this. Now, you are going to give it a class. So our class here is what? Button. You are going to give it a class button. So class and ID are used when styling. When you want to style, you have to add a class name or an ID name. So this class now is defined button, and when we are going to style in our CSS, we are going to use it. So a class button, and then in between the opening tag of the A tag and close tag, then you now describe what the link is all about. So the link here says view my work. So you type it there. Having done that, we are through with the hero word section. So we now create a comment for a new word section we want to create. So this section is going to talk about the word our about section. So we have created the hero section, which talks about the person. We have created the navbar, and what we want to create now is the about section. Before we go to the about section, let's just view the website and see how it looks like. So you click on the play button to see the site. So you now see something like this. Hello, I am Comrade Jeremiah, a passionate web developer, view my work. So if I click on this link now and something related, it will just take the user towards a new page. View my project, view my work. So about section, let's continue because this is a recorded class, so it won't be too lengthy. We'll create a new section again. So just go and look for section tab. You select section and give it an ID. Give it an ID with a value. So the value is going to be about. So Inside, in between the section, the opening and tag, you break it. That is, you press the enter key to break down. So you now put your tag H2 and close it. Then you are going to put so this is a heading now, about me. So then you press the enter key to break. Then you put your word P tag. Let's check if you can find P tag. You can find P tag. I think I made a mistake. I click on HTML sniper. Let me click on this thing now. So you click on this to go back. If you want to go back, undo. Click on this arrow here and select undo. So that goes back. So I selected HTML snippet again. So I click on the P tag and then I'll type about myself. I am a web developer with experience in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So JavaScript is the action on a website. When we are going to that, you are going to see the duty of JavaScript. Anytime you are receiving notification on your smartphone, it's mostly the JavaScript that triggers the pop-up. So now this is where we are going to add our first tag called the image tag. So let's see if you can see an image tag here. Yes, img. So that is an image tag. If you want to add a picture on your website, you need to import or type the image tag. So the image tag comes with a source and alternative. The alternative means that that's alt, means that if the picture is not displayed, it should display a text. And most times it comes out when a website fails to load the picture. So instead of the thing will be blank, it will now show you what the picture represents. So I'm going to write here my portfolio picture. So if my picture fails to load, it will display the text my portfolio picture. Now, image source, you are going to link the path at which we can get the image. So if you click on this folder now, my image was stored on the folder called images. So that's the path. Then we define name. So what I'm going to do is to just come here, select rename, and just copy the name of the picture by selecting everything and copy, so that we don't do mistake when typing the name of the picture. So I'm going to go back. So in here, I'm going to put the path images slash, which is the folder. Images now is the folder name. Then I will now paste the picture name. So it's always advisable you copy the picture. Then I'll paste it and then put my quotes. So you have to make sure that the quote is just to the opening quote and the closing quote. So the way the name was typed on the file, that is the same name I'm having here with the extension name .png. If you type the name of the picture without putting the extension name, it is not going to load the picture. So now let's see how the website looks now. So I'll run it again. And then I can now see this. Maybe when you are importing your own picture, it might cover the entire space. It might cover the entire space. All you need to do is now resize it by setting the width here. So you just come here on the image tag. After the closing quote of the source, come here and type style. This is blocking what I'm doing. So just come here, type style equals to add a value. So you set width, a colon, then the value. So the width now you can set it to 50 px, and the height, you do something like this. Height, also set it to what? 50 pixel, or leave it at what? Auto, as the case may be. So now I've set the value. Now you see how my picture will look like now. So let me run it again. The picture seems to be very, very what? Small, because I have set what? The size. So if I increase the size to 300 pixel and maybe set the height, that is the length, to auto, so this will be set automatically while the width will increase. So I'll click on run again. There you can see how it looks like. So this will enable you do this so that the picture will not, fill the entire web page. Remember, this is a web page. So I'll go back. So now I am through with adding my picture. Now let me try to remove PNG from the picture. Let me try to remove PNG from the picture.png and run it again. Let me show you what will happen. You discover that the picture is no longer displaying, but what is now displaying is the name that I added on the auth. So that was what I was saying. So most time when the network is bad, instead of the picture to be hidden, it's going to show you the name of the picture title with the alternative added there. So let me go back and add the extension name of the picture.png. So you have to add the extension name of the picture. If it's JPEG, you write JPG. So let's run it again. Then you see that the picture is now loading. So now we are through with the about section. Let's go to the project section. The project section. So now you need to make sure that you are out from the closing tag of the section that relates to the project about, and then add a comment to tell yourself or remind yourself that this particular code is going to be project. So this is the project section. So the project section has to display some of the jobs you have done. So you display them on this website. Project section. Then you come down and then you give a section tag first. A section tag. You break it by pressing the enter key. Then give it an ID with a value, projects. So we are actually, we have known that this section is related to a project. Then what you now do is to put your head tag that will display on the browser. So I'll put this H2, then the close tag, then I'll type my projects. So I'm giving a heading, a subheading, so that whoever that is viewing the website will know that that pictures represent project. So now, if you don't have any projects, you can, I'm minimizing, you can go to a web browser and choose a project or download a picture. If you want to download a good quality picture, visit pinterest.com. So let me just assume that I'm a graphic designer now. Okay, our portfolio is talking about websites, because from my description I said I'm a web developer. So let me just get templates of website design. So I'll type here website design templates. So I'm going to search for it. So it's going to display pictures of websites. So I don't want a very long website. What I want is just website design homepage, just the homepage, or landing page. Use landing page. I think that is the best term to use. Website design landing page. So let's search for it. I just want something rectangular. Okay. So let me just open this one and then I'll download image. When I open, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to short, oh my God, open with, my storage is very low, I can't screenshot. Okay, let's look for alternative. So alternative, I've already shown you how to get pictures if you don't have any picture on your smartphone that relates to what you are doing. So let me just quickly get picture. So I'll just go back out of my project. I'm going to open my portfolio and create a new folder. So that folder, we have a name, projects. So I'll open the folder projects and then import a file. So I'm just importing a file, any file, just any file. So import a file, anything, picture. So okay, so let me just use okay, I can see something like this. So I'm adding this out on Telegram. So let me look for another one. Images. Let me look for another one. Good. Okay, I have two pictures, first and here, under the project. So this is what I will do. So you have two folders that has pictures inside, and each of these pictures represent what they stands for. So now I have to go back, open my portfolio again, click on these three dots to visit my editor. So that will take me back to where we stopped. So now, what you now need to do is add an image tag here. Then now this project has two pictures, hey.jpg, first.jpg. So I can easily write this one out than the other one. So now it has a path. What is the path? The path there is that for you to see this picture, you need to open the folder project. So I'm going to put under the source projects, and I check if the folder has S. It has S, so I have to put S. Then slash, the forward slash. Then I'll write first.jpg, and then the next thing I'll now do is to come down from the image tag and press enter and put a p tag. Okay, we are going to use the hashtag first, h3, and then I'll put project 1, and then I'll come down again, then I'll put a p tag. Let's look for a p tag to fasten the process and write a short description about the project. Say short description of the word project. So you now explain what the project is all about. Short description of the project. Now, from my project, before this, let me not confuse you. Select the image tag with the description and cut to go off. So we just have the H2 my project. So this is what you are going to do. You are going to put a div tag, and then class with a value, project, and then you break inside. So now this particular div tag now is the parent. Just like in real life world, we have parents. So HTML code, they have parents and children. So now this is the parent now. So inside this parent now is going to wrap whatever thing that is going to be inside. So now I'm going to create another div tag. And there I'm going to give it a class name. The first one is project grid. So just put it project grid. That's the meaning of the div tag, project grid. Then the second div tag we created, we give it a class with a value, projects, and then we come down. Now inside the div tag project, that is where we now paste what we cut out. That is the image tag, the project, and description. So having done that, we are going to copy the div tag for projects with what it is inside. We just copy it like this without copying the last div, which is the project grid closing tag. So we copy this and then paste. So we have two. Now project div is duplicated into two. Then it is inside the parent called what? Project grid div. So now why we copy this now is just to fasten the process. So now I'm going to trace where the first div of the project ended, which is this, selected. Now the continuation of the copied one started there. So what I'm going to do is that wherever I see project 1, I'll replace it with project 2. Short description of the project remains. Then the picture will change. So I'll go to my folder icon and click to see the next picture I have there, hey.jpg. So I'm going to change it to what? Hey.jpg. So having done that, I will now run. So I now have something like this. So I have my project as the heading, project 1, project 2. So I go back. So the next thing I will now do, we might not finish up with this. We might end on just the HTML. Maybe in the next tomorrow we will continue with the CSS so that not to complicate issues. So you practice it. So the last thing that is remaining on the HTML section is creating the contact section, and which I'm going to just make it more interesting for us. So I'm going to come down here. So this is the last thing we are doing in HTML. So we are almost through with HTML. So we'll continue on CSS tomorrow. That is beautifying what we have created. So this is the last thing. So I'm going to come here because I know that most of us are tired. So I'm going to come here and click on it to add a comment, contact section. Then I come down. So that's a comment. So I come down and then add section. I add section. So this section now is going to have an ID with a value called what? Contact. So once I add that, now this is the closing tag of the section. I break it to enter inside and add my content. So now I'm going to put my tag name H2 to write my heading, my subheading. So my subheading is here, is contact me. So this is where I'm going to make it more interesting. I'm going to show you how you can redirect someone to your WhatsApp contact. So now contact me. Now I'll now put my P tag, that is the paragraph tag, to write something inside. So this paragraph tag is going to have email : your email address, email : like this, your email address. So I'm going to type my email address, Jeremiah Isaiah 462@gmail.com. Now you leave the closing tag of the paragraph and jump down to a new line and press the P tag button again to generate a new paragraph. So there you put phone number, a colon, and then you put your phone number. Please make sure you put your country code +2348028786923. So that's for phone number. Then you leave out from your, you go out from your closing tag of your P tag for phone number and click on the P button again to generate a new P button. So you type follow me on, a colon, then you come in and then put your A tag, which is for redirecting. So here now, I'm going to copy, I'm going to put my WhatsApp link here. So this is how you do it. https://wa.me /again with your phone number +2348028786923. Make sure whatever you are writing after the +234 is your WhatsApp registered number. So now, after doing this, now it will not be visible. You need to come inside, in between the A tag, the opening and closing. Please make sure you mute your speaker to avoid background noise. Then you now type what? WhatsApp. That will take you to your what? WhatsApp. Now, you now put the next A tag, which we don't have anything to put. That should be your GitHub. So you put a class. So you give the class a value, btn. Also go to the first one, which we failed to add. Also give it a class on the opening tag of your A tag on the WhatsApp. Also give it btn. Now, you now put here on the second link we created, GitHub. So watch. This is the A tag for WhatsApp. This is the opening tag. And the A tag from the WhatsApp, we added something inside like a value. We added the href. And this is the closing tag for WhatsApp. And this is a new one which I created for GitHub. So as a web developer, your GitHub is also what? Your portfolio. Just like LinkedIn is a portfolio for every desktop publisher or graphic designer or even web developers. So GitHub now is a platform that allows you to, move your code to the web space or workspace so that you can always retrieve them. Even if you have lost the project on your smartphone or on your laptop, you can always retrieve them. So we'll be learning how to create a GitHub account on the second to the last day of this program. So now we are done creating our HTML. I don't want to complicate issues by us going to the CSS. So we'll do the CSS tomorrow. So now just practice this one we did today. So I'm going to just play or run the file now so that you can see what we did so far. So now this link now that has WhatsApp, as I'm zooming, if you tap there, WhatsApp, see what happens. It's redirecting me towards my WhatsApp. It's asking me where do I want to open. So once I click on this WhatsApp and click on just once, it is taking or redirecting me to my what? WhatsApp account. Because of this thing, href. Today, that's all for today. We learned how to create a portfolio, writing it on HTML. So we started with navbar, followed by the hero section, followed by the about section, followed by the project section, and then lastly the contact section. So this is the final view. So yours should be like this. So make sure you create this thing and get ready for the CSS. You create this and get ready for the CSS, which we are going to spice it up. When we add CSS to this, you will see how beautiful the website looks like. So that's all for today. I'm going to share you the recorded class right now as I end the live stream. Do you have any question for me? Do you have any question before I end the live screen? Any question? Any question?
What is the name of the app for the? What is the name of the app? The coding
Okay,
app.
the name of the app we are using for smartphone is Strep Edit.